so it's good to see y'all again. I'm Natasha and welcome back. So today we're gonna continue our fifth chapter, and it's complex numbers, which we have already done, and second is the quadratic equations, which we're doing right now. So today we're gonna discuss about some methods for solving the quadratic equations. So I'm going to talk about roots just a little bit, the nature of roots. So basically this topic we'll discuss later, but I'm going to tell you some few things for now, like roots of a quadratic equations. Okay, so let's get started with our today's topic. Okay, so let's say we have an equation which is ax squared plus bx plus c, which is equal to 0. Okay, so this is what a quadratic equation is like, right? So we have let this equation be a quadratic equation, and let's say if we have a root, okay, if alpha, we all know about the alpha. If alpha is the root of this equation, then, okay, so if alpha is the root of this equation, then this x will be equal to the alpha. So wherever this x is, at the place of the x, we're gonna use the alpha 2. So we can use alpha 2, okay? Okay, and if I'm gonna put the value alpha at the place of x, I'm gonna get a new equation which is going to be, it'll satisfy that, this a alpha squared plus b alpha plus c, which is equal to 0. Okay, if this is clear, then let's move on. Sorry for that. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about the number, not the nature of roots. I'm going to talk about the number of roots. So, we have in quadratic equation, so we have like 2 roots. So a quadratic equation has 2 roots, as we can see here, right? And the roots may or may not be real. So one thing to remember is that the roots may or may not be real. Okay, so it's may be gonna be real or may not. Got it? Okay, so let's get to our main topic. So we're going to discuss about the first method for solving the quadratic equation. So the first method is by factorization. So as we all know about this factorization thing, so let's see how does it work, and we're going to take an example so that, we can just understand this method. Okay, like how will we use it? Okay, so the first method, which is factorization. Okay, factorization. Is it clear? Okay, then let's move on. Okay, so in factorization, we already know what we do is like if we have, okay, so if we have the same equation, so according to this equation, only real roots, are found by the factorization. So if we can factorize this equation, the same equation, into a product of 2, or I can say into a product of two linear factors, okay? 2 linear factors, then the roots of this equation, this quadratic equation, can be calculated by equating, okay? So we will just by equating each factor, from 0, okay? Each factor from 0. Each factor to 0, what we can say is this thing, okay? Okay, so let's take an example. Let's take an example because there's nothing to write, as we all know about this factorization thing, in which we factorize and, by equating and all those things, right? Yeah, so let's take an example. So for example, so what example should I take? I'm going to take on really easy examples with the values. So let's say I have x squared minus 3x. Should I take positive 10 or negative 10? Should I take positive 10 or negative 10? Okay. Let's say negative 10, okay? Yeah. So x squared minus 3x minus 10, which is equal to 0. One thing to always remember that this a, the first one, can't be equal to 0. So it will never be equal to 0, else this value can be 0. Okay. And this one can be 0 too, as we already, as we have already discussed about this thing, which are constants. So C is basically the constant, and the first and second we have the variables, or for this the roots, I can say, just okay. Okay, so what I can see here is that if I'm going to factorize this negative 3x minus 10, okay, so what we have here is this. So I'm going to factorize this negative 3x, okay. Okay, so I'm going to write it as x squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10, which is equal to 0. Is it right? Is it right? If yes, then let's move on. What I did is I just factorize it, okay? So the next step, what we can see is we have 2x squared, okay? We have 2 x's here. So I can take the x times, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this x times 5 minus x, or you can even say x minus 5. That would be more better. That would be more better than this one. Okay. Okay, that's more better than this. And so I'm going to say this x times x minus 5. Okay, is this clear? So now with the 2x, so I can again write, we have 1x left. So I'm going to write plus, as the value here is plus, positive. So plus 2 times. Is it going to be 2 times? Of course it's going to be 2 times, as we're going to have this x minus 5 exactly in this bracket 2. So x minus 5 is equal to 0, okay? As this negative 10 got, separated. So this adds in the 5 and the 5, okay? If this is clear, then let's move on. So what we have is nothing else, okay? So what I can see here is I've got the answer. I'm almost at the answer. What's going to be the answer? So, of course, by using the identities, I'm just simply, taking this answer as this x minus 5 and x plus, okay. Let me write it again. Yeah, I was writing x plus 2, okay? X minus 5, in bracket x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so we've done this factorization and all. Now it's turn to think about the values. So the roots of this equation, are the values for which this equation is equal to 0. Okay, so this is actually an equation. So what I can say last I can say, okay, let me write it here. So at last I can say that x will be equal to positive 5 or x will be equal to negative 2, okay? If I'm going to take it out the brackets, so it will be this, okay? So if I'm going to write this in detail, just like before writing the values, I can just simply write it like this way, okay? Let me show you. Yeah, so it's going to be x minus 5, which is going to be equal, which will be equal to 0. And if I'm going to talk about the x2, which is going to be x plus 2 is equal to 0, okay? So I'm going to write or x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so now the next thing, again, I'm going to just finally, I'm just going to write that this x will be equal to positive 5 or x will be equal to negative 2, okay, as to negative side. Okay, if this is clear, then two options we have, that either this, whether our answer is 5 or 2, okay, or negative 2, okay, that's all we have. Okay, we have two possible values here for this x, and this is how we can find, just like this is how we can solve. This is how we can solve the quadratic equation. So that was the first method. So how about we move on to the second method? Okay, so now the second method. Okay, so the second method is by counting the squaring method. So it's just it's counting the square method. That's what I can say. Okay, counting the square method. Okay, so it's a method in itself. Well, that doesn't matter, whatever I said. So the second method is the counting the square method. Okay, so in square, just completing those squaring. So okay, so counting the square method. So what's in this method? Okay, so of course, the same like the first method where we take an example 2. Okay, and I think that in this method too, there is no need to write anything. So what I want to tell you is, that in this counting the square method is just, about the squaring thing, okay? In which in a quadratic equation, so like a quadratic equation can be solved by this method, what do we do in this method is we just complete the square, okay? So it's just we solved it by the method of completing the square. And so after that, we try to convert the given equation in the form of a plus b square or a minus b square. So a plus b square, remember this, a plus b square or a minus b square. Okay, is this clear? Then let's take an example so that this method can be clear to us too. And yeah, don't worry, we're going to solve some few questions too. No, not in this video. Another video, or just separate. I'm just gonna make those videos. Okay, well, it won't be like merged in any of these videos. Okay, so it will be a separate video in which I will discuss only questions, no topic, nothing. Okay, and it will be related to these methods. Okay, factorization can be the square method, and the third method which we can forget is the quadratic formula, which we usually use. Okay, so like it's common to use the quadratic formula, like rather than this factorization or the completing the square method. Okay, completing. Oh, did I write counting? Oh, wait a second. No, okay. No. We don't count this. We actually complete this. I don't know why did I wrote this. Since then I was just saying this completing and all. Didn't even notice it. So actually it's not counting, it's completing. I don't know how did it happen. So completing the square method, not the counting the square method. Okay, I think I would have even said that. Okay, no, actually I said that actually, right? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry for that. So, but it's actually completing the square method. Okay, so how about we okay. I'm coughing a lot. So, for example, let's say an easy example, just like this example. So what example should we take? Should I take 2x squared minus 7x plus 3? 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. 2x squared minus 7x plus 3, which is equal to, as usual, 0. Okay, so this is the example, this is the equation which we're going to take. Okay, is this clear? Okay, so what we can see here is, okay, so I can, change, I can just put this 3 here. So what I'm going to get is 2x squared minus 7x is equal to negative 3, remember, okay, as it's positive here, so it's going to be negative, okay? Okay, so after this, what do? Is we complete, for this completing the square method, what do is that we divide both the sides of the equation. So we're going to divide both the sides from 2, okay? From 2 as the first. So I'm going to write on dividing both the sides, both sides of the equations, both the sides. Alright, how about I write just only sides, okay? That will be more better. Yeah. Okay, so both sides on dividing both sides by 2. I know like it's going to be on dividing both sides of the equation by 2. What do we get? So what we're doing is by dividing both the sides. So I'm going to get this. Yeah. So, for the left hand side, let's just leave it for now. So I'm going to just leave some space. On the right hand side, it's really easy. Negative 3 by 2 will come as we're dividing it. And here it will be also same, as we're just going to put it in the denominator. So what we have here is 2x squared minus 7x. Okay, that was totally clear to us. So what I did here was I just directly wrote this x squared minus 7x by 2. Is this clear? If this method's clear, then let's move on. Great? Okay, I hope it's clear. Yeah. So now the next step, it will be equal to, okay, not again. Yeah, I was actually writing 2 only. Okay, so x squared is equal to 2 into x plus 7x by 4 is equal, okay, wait a second. It's just something, Okay, I'm going to write this again so that we won't be confused, because we'll have to understand all the steps, right? Yes, so for that, I will do this again. So let's see, okay? Yeah. So this x squared, what we had here was this x squared minus 7x by 2, okay? So that's what we had here, okay? So this is totally clear to us. So in the next step, I had this negative 2 into x minus 7x by 4 is equal to negative 3 by 2. So this will be the correct form, okay? This will be the correct form, okay? Yeah. And here at the place of, as we're trying to multiply it, so here at the place of, minus, I'm going to put into sign, okay? Yes, it's 2 into x into 7x by 4. Is this clear? If yes, then let's move on. Okay, so now we're on our second part. So now we're going to divide the second one part. Okay, so this second method might be a little confusing, but I swear, there's just no need to, get confused or anything at all. Okay? Yeah, so now we're gonna add. In the first method we divide, and the second we're gonna add. So we're gonna add this 7 by 4 which we got here. Okay? So on adding the 7 by 4, and here, let's, before moving on to that step, just understand this method, okay? Okay, so here we had 7 by 4, okay? Let's see how. So we had this x squared minus 7x by 2. I just put them in the denominator. That's what I did. And here, that was exactly the same. And here, that was all the changes. So how did I have this x squared? X squared was exactly the same. But the 2 that was here, the 2 which was here, I put it at this side. So, and the x which was here, I put it at this side. So that's why I'm multiplying them, okay? And in the denominator, this is, and in the denominator, I got 4. So this x which should be here is now here. So we're not going to write this x again, okay? Okay, so let's move on to the second one. So now we're gonna add. So on adding 7 by 4 square, both sides, on adding 7 by 4 on both the sides. Okay. I'm gonna write to both sides, on both sides, whatever. Okay. Yeah. So on. Okay, I just said 2. To both sides. Okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, add 7 by 4 square. And so, what I'm going to do is everything is going to be really easy and not that creepy. Okay? So, I'm adding 7 by 4 square to both sides, what are we going to get? Okay, so we had this final, okay? So this x squared minus 2 into x into 7 by 4 plus 7 by 4 square, which is equal to okay, I'm going to add now 7 by 4 square minus 3 by 2, right? So that's what we're going to have here, isn't it? So after, after writing their squares, 7 squared will be 49, 4 squared will be 16, and exactly minus 3 by 2. And here I'm going to have this, okay. Yeah, so here it's going to be 49 by 68, exactly the same. Okay, so this is totally clear to us. So what will now happen is that this 7 by 4, which is right there, it will, so the next step, we will just directly going to write this x minus 7 by 4 whole square, okay? Whole square. And, that's just really easy, okay? That is really easy. Okay, so I'm going to write here x minus 7 by 4 square is equal to, what is it equal to? Okay, I've just already written it here, so how about I, just shift it there a little? Okay. Okay, so we'll do this fast. So here, I'm going to have this x minus 7 by 4 square, which is equal to 49 by 16 minus 3 by 2. So after this, what am I gonna get? I'm gonna get this x minus 7 by 4 square minus 25 by 16. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not actually minus, it's is equal to. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear? So, if till here everything's clear, then now nothing can be confusing for us to understand, because we've done everything. Now there's nothing. Okay, 25 square. Now, I'm going to say the square root of 25. 5. 16, 4. Okay? So I'm going to have this x minus 7 by 4. You know, the square just moved on, you know, it went this side. So it's going to be 5. Okay, wait a second. Oh, it's really like not working, literally. Okay. Yeah, so this will be equal to plus or minus 5 by 4. Because we don't know like if the value is going to be positive or negative, okay? So I'm going to use this plus or minus 5 by 4. Is this clear? Okay, if this is clear, then everything's clear and we've got our final and the last value. So, yeah, so what we can see here is, I'm just going to write here, okay? Yeah. So what we had is that our value was plus or minus 5 by 4, right? So now I'm shifting the 7 by 4 another side. So I'm going to get this x is equal to 7 by 4. 7 by 4 as it's going to be positive. Plus or minus 5 by 4, okay? Is this clear? Yes or no? Okay. So I did nothing here. I just, you know, moved the 7 by 4 on the right hand side. And now I can say that this x is equal to 7 by 4 plus 5 by 4, or x is equal to 7 by 4 minus 5 by 4. Okay, so this is what we're gonna have at last, you know, in the last. So I hope these two methods are clear to all of us, and you know, the third method, which is the quadratic formula, we'll discuss it, you know, in the next video or maybe in another video. So that's all for today, and thanks for watching and have a great day.